Welcome to the second lesson on natural vegetation of India. In our previous lesson, if you remember, we tried to understand the definition of natural vegetation and the factors that affect it. We also identified the major types of natural vegetation found in India. In this lesson, we shall focus on two types of natural vegetation of India in details, and they are evergreen forest and deciduous forest. The relevant video links of all the lessons from this chapter are provided in the description for your reference. So let's begin today's lesson. Well, we all know Andaman and Nicobar is a group of islands lying to the east of mainland India amidst Bay of Bengal. Now, this island group is an ideal tourist spot because of its sublime natural beauty. The islands consist of long coast and beaches which are thickly covered with dense forest. Now, within this dark dense forest, aboriginal or tribal people live. These tribal people dwell in the interiors of the forest for centuries. They mostly live in isolation from the modern world and lead nomadic lifestyle. So now let us explore the habitat of these tribal people. As mentioned just now, the tribal people live in the forest of Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and the type of vegetation found here is tropical rainforest. This type of vegetation is also found in the other island of India, that is Lakshadweep. Now, apart from these two groups of islands, such type of vegetation, that is tropical rainforest, also exists in mainland India along the west coast or Malabar coast and in some parts of east and northeast India. So in this map, the regions marked in dark green shows the location or existence of tropical rainforest in India. Now, can you tell me why such type of vegetation is found in these regions of India? Well, this is because if you remember, these regions of India, that is the western coastal plains, the islands and some parts of east and northeast India experiences warm and wet tropical climate. This is to say that these regions experiences high temperature and heavy rainfall, and therefore here we find that tropical rainforests grow in regions of high temperature and heavy rainfall. Yes, rainfall plays an important role in the development of these forests, and hence such type of vegetation are also known as rainforest because it grows in regions of heavy rainfall, and it is called tropical rainforest because it exists in the tropical zone. So now that we have understood the location of tropical rainforest, let us know about the characteristic of such type of vegetation. Well, if you look at these rainforests, then you will find that they always appear to be dark green in color. This is because these leaves do not shed all their leaves at once. In fact, when some trees shed their leaves, others grow in size, as we can see in this video. And therefore, tropical rainforests always appear to be green and they are evergreen in nature. So, the word evergreen stands for always green. So, we found that an important characteristic of tropical rainforest is that they are evergreen in nature. Another important feature of evergreen rainforest or tropical rainforest is that they are quite dense and compact. This is to say that uncountable trees grow quite close to one another, and therefore sunlight cannot penetrate into the forest. And also some trees form huge canopies. Canopy means that these trees have spread out branches in order to absorb maximum sunlight. So these spread out branches of the trees are known as canopy. Now this canopy further reduces the scope of penetration of sunlight, and therefore the forest floor remains dark and moist. Now since the availability of sunlight is quite limited in this region, therefore the trees grow in height in quest of sunlight, and in this quest some trees acquire very tall heights, while not all trees can grow to such tall heights, and therefore in these rainforests we can find trees of varying heights. So the entire vegetation of evergreen forests can be segregated or divided into 4 groups on the basis of their heights. The first layer, that consists of very tall trees of about 40 to 50 meter, consists of the emergent layer. So emergent layer consists of extremely tall trees. The second layer consists of trees that have huge canopies, and these trees have an height of 25 to 30 meter. After canopy layer, we have the layer of understory. In this layer, the trees grow to an average height of 15 to 20 meter. So understory layer consists of shorter trees that form under the canopy layer. At the ground level, plants like ferns, shrubs and mosses grow which can tolerate shade. This is because, if you remember, I mentioned that sunlight cannot penetrate deeper into the forest. As a result, the last layer of the vegetation consists of trees that have an average height of 5 to 10 meter. That is, these trees have extremely short height and they remain close to the ground, and this last layer is known as forest floor. Thus, we found that evergreen rainforests are quite dense and compact, and they can be segregated into 4 distinct layers. The emergent layer, that consists of tall trees, then we have the canopy layer. After that, we have understory layer, which consists of trees that have average height, and finally we have forest floor where short trees grow. So we found that tropical rainforests are quite dense and they consist of trees that are evergreen in nature and are of varying heights. Now let us identify some of these trees growing in these forests. Well, many valuable trees are found in the tropical evergreen rainforest of India, and some of these trees are rubber, cinchona, mahogany, rosewood, etc. Now, each of these trees are extremely valuable. The sap obtained from rubber plant is known as latex. It is used for manufacturing rubber material, which is further used in the production of tires, raincoats, etc. Again, cinchona is a medicinal plant. The bark of this tree is used for producing quinine, which is used in the treatment of malaria. Again, mahogany and rosewood are important hardwood trees, and they are used to produce timber, which is used for making furniture. Thus, we find that many valuable trees grow in tropical evergreen rainforest. Now, although these trees grow here in abundance, but they cannot be obtained very easily. Do you know why? Well, this is because the trees grow in mixed stand. This means that different variety of plant species grow together. So it becomes almost impossible to identify a particular plant species, and therefore these dense evergreen forests cannot be exploited very easily, and thus the rainforests are not commercially important. Thus, we find that although tropical evergreen forests consist of many valuable trees, but they cannot be exploited commercially as the trees occur in mixed stand. So now let us quickly summarize the important features of tropical evergreen forest. These forests are found in the islands of Andaman and Nicobar and also in Lakshadweep Islands. Such type of vegetation is also found in the west coast of India and in some parts of east and northeast India. Now these trees, as we know, have leaves throughout the year. That is, these trees do not shed all their leaves at once, and therefore they always appear to be green. Thus, tropical rainforests are evergreen in nature. Another feature of these vegetation is that they are dense and multi-layered. In fact, the vegetation consists of 4 distinct layers: the emergent layer, canopy layer, understory layer, and the forest floor. Also, the trees found here grow in mixed stand, that is, different varieties of plant species grow together, and therefore it becomes almost impossible to identify a particular plant species, and thus tropical rainforests are almost impossible to be exploited, and thus they are commercially unimportant. The important trees of these rainforests are rubber, cinchona, mahogany, ebony, etc. So now that we have discussed in details about the first type of natural vegetation of India, that is the tropical evergreen forest, we shall now discuss about the another type of natural vegetation found in India, that is the tropical deciduous forest. But before going in discussion about other type of natural vegetation, let us try to answer this question. It says, in which part of India evergreen rainforests or tropical rainforests are not found? And the options given are Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Western Coastal Plain, Himalayan region, or Lakshadweep. Well, you can't remember. We just read that evergreen rainforests or tropical rainforests are found in the islands of Andaman and Nicobar. Then they are also found in the Western Coastal Plain and in Lakshadweep Islands. So the only option left where these forests or such type of vegetation are not found is the Himalayan region. So the correct option will be the Himalayan region, where the evergreen rainforests are not found. Well, you must have noticed that different furniture that we use in our rooms, like chairs, tables, cabinets, etc., are made up of wood. Now, wood or timber is an important plant product. Well, this is to say that the wood that is used to make these furniture is obtained from plant. Now, can you name some plant from which timber is obtained? Well, timber is obtained from hardwood trees like teak, sal, etc. Now, as I just mentioned, these trees are hardwood trees. That is, these trees are quite dense, compact and hard, and therefore they are very durable. So these trees are exploited at large scale to obtain timber from them. Now, can you name the vegetation of which these trees are a part of? Well, these trees belong to the vegetation of tropical deciduous forest. Now this map shows the location of tropical deciduous forest in India, and we find that such type of vegetation is found at the foothills of the Himalayas, in a major portion of northern plains, and also in peninsular India. In fact, tropical deciduous forest covers a major portion of India. So, it is the most abundant type of vegetation found in India. Now, let us discuss about the important characteristic of tropical deciduous forest. In this video, we can see that leaves are falling off the trees. Now, this is an important characteristic of deciduous forest. That is, deciduous trees shed their leaves during dry season. Well, do you know why does this happen? Well, this happens because deciduous forests are found in regions which experiences seasonal variations in climate. While discussing about the climate of India, I mentioned that it experiences seasonal changes in temperature and precipitation, and this chart shows the major seasons of India, that is summer, monsoon and winter. In fact, if we look at this chart, then we can find that rainfall is restricted to only a few months of the year, and it remains dry for the rest of the year. Thus, we find that there are seasonal variations in rainfall pattern. So, based on such climatic conditions, deciduous forests shed their leaves during dry season in order to reduce the rate of transpiration or water loss through leaves. Now, the word deciduous comes from a Latin word decidus, which means to fall down or fall off. And these trees are called so because they shed their leaves before the onset of dry season. We shall now discuss some of the trees that are found in these deciduous forests. Well, we already discussed that teak and sal are some of the important hardwood trees found in deciduous forest. Apart from them, bamboo, sandalwood, neem, etc. are also found in these forests. Now, all these trees occur in pure stand, that is, a single variety of plant species grow together. So, since the trees occur in pure stand, therefore, unlike evergreen rainforests, deciduous forests can be easily exploited, and therefore they are commercially very important. So, I hope you will be able to distinguish between evergreen rainforest and deciduous rainforest in this aspect. This is to say that deciduous rainforests occur in pure stand, whereas evergreen rainforests occur in mixed stand. Now, since evergreen rainforests occur in mixed stand, so the trees cannot be easily identified. So, evergreen rainforests are commercially unimportant, whereas deciduous forests occur in pure stand. So, the trees can be easily identified, and therefore they are commercially very important. So, now let us quickly summarize the important characteristic of tropical deciduous forest. We discussed that they are found in the foothills of the Himalayas and in the northern plains and in peninsular India. In fact, such type of vegetation is the most abundant type of vegetation found in India, as it covers a maximum portion of the country. Deciduous forests consist of trees that shed their leaves during dry season. These trees occur in pure stand, that is, a single variety of plant species grow together, and therefore deciduous forests are commercially very important. Some of the important trees found in these forests are teak, sal, sandalwood, bamboo, etc. So, this brings us to the end of today's discussion on two types of natural vegetation found in India, that is the tropical evergreen forest and the deciduous forest. The tropical evergreen forests are found in the warm and wet regions of the country, that is in the islands of Andaman and Nicobar and Lakshadweep, also along the west coast and in some parts of east and northeast India. Then coming to the second type of vegetation, that is the tropical deciduous forest. It is the most abundant vegetation of India and it covers a maximum portion of the country. Specifically, it is found at the foothills of the Himalayas, along the northern plains and in a major part of peninsular India. In our subsequent lessons, we shall be discussing about other types of natural vegetation of India, that is mountain forest, mangrove forest and tropical thorn forest. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. You can also register for free at deltastep.com or download the DeltaStep app to learn one-to-one with our amazing teachers or to get access to our 5,000 amazing videos as per your school syllabus. Master each topic with our adaptive practice technology. Get million-plus questions with step-by-step solutions and unlimited mock tests. Get all your doubt resolved instantly. Learn via games and win amazing prizes like PlayStations and iPads. So at DeltaStep, learning is not just fun and easy, but it's rewarding too. So register for free now.